Hey, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 82. Woo! We're proper old now.
18 weeks. How many months is that? It's like 4, so August, September, October. Yeah, we're gonna get to 100
if we try. If that would include December. I'm just saying.
It doesn't. Look.
Yeah.
4 months.
August.
16 and 2 weeks.
Okay.
We can break up halfway through December.
Yeah. Okay.
First week of December.
Okay. Fair enough.
How you been?
I've been all right. Well, I'll talk about it on another ep. But no, I've been all right.
I've been.
Yeah. I've been all right. Do you know what I wanted to talk about?
What?
And it's kind of work related, but it's not really work related.
Love Island.
Of course, it's Love Island.
All right. Let's get it out of the way.
I don't know if you guys saw, but there have been a lot of complaints to Ofcom about Love Island and the treatment of the treatment of Josh from Sean and Joey Essex. And people are saying, they are showing a lot of microaggressions and, just how they're viewing.
I don't know who Josh is.
So Josh is a 29-year-old black man from South London. Sean is...
I stand with him.
I don't know how old Sean is, but he's in his early 20s, white guy, sells sweets. So he's always referencing his sweets and his sweet shop that's currently being dragged on TikTok because of his behaviour. Yeah. And Joey Essex. Yeah. So basically yesterday, they keep bringing up this certain scenario that was a former love triangle that was going on. Mm-hmm. And Josh was talking to Sean about it. And Sean was like, I don't know why you're having this really big reaction. There was no big reaction.
Yeah.
He just said, I didn't like it. And he was like, and then when Joey just came over to stand there, and then Sean was like to Joey, Josh is really upset about blah, blah, blah. And Josh was like, I'm not upset. He was like, I'm fed up, but I'm not upset. And then Io, who's another... I'm
assuming he's black.
Yeah, black Love Islander.
I know who Io is, the one who was with
Mimi. Yeah, so he doesn't even...
He looks like someone I know. What school did he go to?
He's young though. He's like 23 or 24.
Maybe someone's brother.
He's from Canning Town though. Maybe you've seen him walking around.
In the studio.
Yeah, but Io didn't even say anything. He just heavy sighed, got up and went to sit next to Josh. He didn't even say anything. I think he just saw... Yeah, I think he just saw, okay, Josh is on his own and Joey and Sean are here. And... it just like you can always reference situations like that in the workplace where people are experiencing microaggressions and feeling like, am I crazy? Like, is this person treating me a certain way because of what I look like or how I speak or where I'm from, whatever it is? And sometimes it just takes somebody else in the workplace to just kind of show, I see it too, or I get it. Yeah, you're not crazy. And I feel like with microaggressions in general, I didn't mean to get straight into HR, but
no, it's fine. I have really nothing to say anyway.
I think with microaggressions in general, they're micro because they just chip away at you little by little because it's so subtle. And I feel like as Brits, that's what we're so good at. Like British people are good at microaggressions, and I think yesterday on Love Island was like the perfect example.
Oh, it was yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday of microaggressions in full-blown action. And it's only if you've experienced the microaggressions before on whatever scale will you really see what's going on, because some people are like, no, I love Sean, I love Joey, blah blah blah. Joey should never have gone on Love Island. He has ruined I just thought he was an easygoing slow guy.
Why do people do
but
that as
now
well?
I'm just why no.
It's like you're very harmless to everybody, like happy-go-lucky, no problem. Now, but I guess those kind of things are not make or break, but Love Island is a big platform, obviously, so is The Only Way to Essex, but to be honest, he's not.
I used to love Towie.
Yeah. But it's like, you just came to ruin it for yourself.
He honestly did.
But has he actually? Is it one of those things where you feel that way because of
No. Joey has
like everybody is.
Joey has ruined his rep. I don't think he's ruined his career, but I think a lot of people who thought Joey was a happy-go-lucky individual that should have brought a lot of fun
To the house,
to the villa, but that's not actually what he did. He brought good reality TV.
It's given bullying.
Yeah, he brought good reality TV, but at the same time, like, he really, and he's 33. He's at Agbayo. Like, why are you there? Like, you're 33. You're a big
He's
guy.
Is he the oldest person in the house?
He's 100% the oldest person there. Yeah. By years. Like, so he should be, you know, somebody that they can turn to. And then when they have, like Mimi did with the secret mission thing, if you watch Love Island, it backfired. So
microaggressions on Love Island.
Microaggressions on Love Island.
Do you know what? Yeah.
And sorry, this is why I watched Love Island USA, because you know what, my king and queen won. My black king and queen won Love Island US.
Didn't it start after the UK one?
They started like the same week.
So is the UK one nearly finished? Or
Next
that was
Monday.
just shorter?
Next Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I literally haven't even watched one single episode. Has it been good?
It's been okay. It's not the best Love Island season that I've watched. Last year's was better with Whitney and Locken and Ty and Ella and stuff. But
I watched last year.
Yeah, it was okay. This is okay. It will do.
Any couples in there where you're rooting for them?
I am rooting for Mimi and Josh. And I'm rooting for Kieran and Nicole because I like Kieran.
And he likes Nicole.
Yeah, but I like Kieran. He's the youngest in the house. He's 21, but he's so, like, they get onto him about his age.
Is an okay age for the youngest person in the house, because when they had that, was it Gemma who was 19?
Georgia. I'm loyal, babe. Yeah.
But how old was Gemma when she went in?
Gemma? Who's Gemma?
Don't do this to me. Michael Owen's daughter.
Oh, I forgot about her. She was 21.
Was 21?
Yeah, 20 or 21. Yeah.
I thought I was just picking up names.
Yeah, no, I forgot about her. But yeah, so it's been all right.
Do you know what? I had somebody I know basically contacted me and said, look, I need to get some advice from my brother, because like he's dealing with some, I think, microaggressions at work, and I'm not sure. Like, he's obviously raised it to her. He didn't necessarily know what it was or if it was an issue, and I was like, okay, tell me, like, what's going on. When I say, I don't even know if they were microaggressions, they were even macroaggressions. So he's black, obviously everyone else is not. There was like a story in the news about a stabbing or something. They asked him if he did it.
You're joking. How can you ask in the workplace?
Yeah,
they asked him if he committed attempted murder or murder.
Yep. When I say it's not even micro, they were out, their fire alarm went off, there was fire drill, it was all outside. There was some sort of ruckus outside. What? One of the guys was black.
That's so
They went
mad.
back inside and they asked him like what was up with his friend. What? Like a random fire drill, everyone went outside. There was a black guy who was like fighting or making a big fuss about something or whatever. They asked him what was up with his friend.
That's so crazy.
What else did they? Oh man, I can't even remember half. But there was like 4 or 5 incidences of different things. What else was there? I can't remember the rest of them, but there was a lot of things along those lines, like really ridiculous things, just really, really, really ridiculous. So it's like they're happening every day. Wow.
But then all the companies are still, taking the diversity angle. Oh, we're diverse. We want diversity.
Not all the companies with their diversity. Was it Microsoft?
Didn't
Microsoft have gotten rid of their DEI team?
Microsoft got rid of their DEI.
I want to say, let me double check, but I think it's Microsoft. They got rid of their DEI
No way,
team,
Microsoft
and
did that.
This
That's
doesn't
crazy.
align with their current priorities. I am so sure. I'm very sure.
Really?
I'm gonna see, because I saw an article and they said something about it not aligning. Microsoft eliminates its DEI team. It's no longer business critical to invest in diversity.
Wow.
But I need to read the whole article. Let me read the whole article and come back to you guys, because I don't want it to be like one of these like clickbait things. But I did see that they have gotten rid of the DEI team. They wouldn't be the first tech company or the first big company to do that. Loads of them did it like last year, the year before. But I just think that's crazy.
Wow.
Before, like looking back at 2020, I'm still watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. I took a break. I'm back now into season 13. This is the season during COVID. So I'm up to 2020, which I think is very good. Well. And obviously Portia is doing all her social justice stuff. And it just reminded me of what 2020 was like how people were like getting engaged in activism, how all these companies were speaking out, how they were, and literally those same companies now are silent.
They don't care.
They are silent. And obviously there's been some stuff happening in the world this week, like with all the Black Lives Matter stuff and whatnot.
I know.
Like,
I couldn't, you know, I'll be honest, like I didn't even want to engage with that video because it's so like just disheartening that stuff like that happens and still happens, and just how it happened. It was such an avoidable situation, you know. So yeah, I really didn't engage with that video because it's just so sad, so sad.
Okay, so I'm gonna read what it says. Microsoft recently cut 2 diversity-related roles, igniting speculation that it was joining the cohort of employers walking back DEI commitments amid woke backlash. We need to talk about the word woke as well. One outlet reported that in the wake of layoffs, a team lead emailed thousands of workers criticizing the company for no longer viewing DEI as business critical. So somebody said that, not Microsoft. A Microsoft spokesperson, on the other hand, told HR Drive, which is HR Dive, where I'm reading this, that 2 positions eliminated were redundant roles on its events team, and that the company's global DEI team was unaffected. So that's some fake news that I'm debunking there so hopefully people listen the whole way through. Yeah, but it was an employee who basically sent an email to thousands of employees saying that it's no longer business critical for Microsoft. Microsoft didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they actually made 2 people in their DEI events team redundant. If the roles are redundant, the roles are redundant.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Thank God you read.
I know, thank God. Because I saw that on Instagram, I was like, I need to actually read this. But yeah, loads of companies at the time were doing up activism, doing this, doing that, and a lot of them, they're just doing nothing now. They're silent. They're done.
Couplets.
It's not like I forgot, but I kind of forgot the vibe of 2020. I remember what was happening, but I forgot how it felt during 2020. Like how I didn't necessarily think the world was going to change overnight, but I did feel like, oh wow, companies are finally being held to account. And then it just took a few years, and then slowly they've just been retrenching. Then now they're just going back to silence and talking about being woke. There's a podcast that I listen to, and I love it. Well, I have loved it. It's getting a bit lazy in the past few months. It's not us. And I'm this close to like just unfollowing it and never listening again, because it's got like 2 co-hosts, and one of them has been becoming more and more and more conservative over the years. So I've listened back to the whole back catalogue since 2017. And when it started in 2017, I don't think everyone has to have the same political opinions. That's the first thing. But when it started in 2017, they had like reasonable takes on things. And now it's like they've just gone the complete other way, where it's like she just makes comments. Like she made comments about, you know, all the stuff in like Israel, Palestine, really bad takes. Like she updated her Instagram bio to say unwoke. She's made comments about how, you know, white working class people are really the most like marginalized in the UK. And obviously white working class people still face classism, but also I think to say that they're the most oppressed group in the UK is crazy. And she just, there's just loads of stuff that she says. And then the end of me, or the close to the end, came when I was listening. I was on Reddit. I don't know how I got there, but there was a Reddit that came up, and it was about one of their Patreon episodes, and I'm not a patron. And someone basically said, look, I've listened to a Patreon episode. I've had to I've unsubscribed now. This is what she said on the episode. And they went through, and she just said loads of really bad things. And it's just like, she just says she doesn't want to be woke anymore. And she's actually Asian, by the way. The other co-host is white, but I don't have any issues with her. But I'm just like, when did woke become, I've said it before, I think, but when did woke become like an insult?
I don't know when the word was essentially like taken over.
Co-opted.
Yeah, but when the word woke, when the term first came out, do you know what? I associate it with the film Get Out. That's what I associate woke with, because of the Childish Gambino song Redbone, where he says stay woke, blah blah blah. and it was, it was all about being aware of what's going on in the world, your surroundings, and just being a good person, basically.
I associate it with similar things, but like slam poetry, but
then all of that stuff is now being seen as, almost like a hippie is how I feel like people use the word woke. But it's like, oh, you're woke, like because you're conscious of what's going on in the world. That doesn't.
Hippies had some. They had a couple bad takes, a couple things that maybe should have been using protection and whatnot. But they weren't all wrong. The war in Vietnam was a mess.
Yeah, like it's become offensive. Like of the word. There was a company I worked at where my old manager used to use it all the time, and it was
like in a jokey way, like.
No, he stood by the word woke. Like he would call himself woke.
But in what way? Like
in a good way. From his
point. Awake to social injustice.
Yeah, like he would use, but it was just felt like it was just very disjointed as to how he was using it. I'd rather have it that
way. I'd genuinely rather have it that way than people being like, oh, all these are woke people. Oh, it's a bit of woke. I don't know. I find that very offensive. Is that an offensive thing to say at work? Oh, these woke people.
I think it can be interpreted as something that is, can be taken negatively because of the type of people that tend to be woke.
I mean, it's a term that comes from Black vernacular.
Yeah.
So the people who typically use it or refer to themselves as woke or speak about being woke were typically Black. So when people say woke, blah, 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 it's obviously been like, it was then more widely used even before it was co-opted. But it's like, I find it really offensive. People say, oh God, woke. Even like Cyrilla Braven, all this.
Yeah, like it's
what did you say? Like this rampant wokery. Do you know how mad that is?
Yeah,
I find it really offensive. And I can imagine somebody at work, like I can imagine getting in a situation where someone at work said, oh yeah, all this wokery or whatever, and like a Black person or somebody from a marginalized group felt very
feeling
offended.
uncomfortable. 100%.
But then I don't think people would necessarily understand why that is and why people feel uncomfortable with that.
I agree.
It's so exhausting sometimes being part of groups where you are just forced to think about things in a different way. It's exhausting. It's like I would love to just be and not have to think about, oh, what about this, what about that, how does that other person feel, could this be this, could this be that. But it's so hard when you actually have empathy and you know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of something like that. It's just not, it's not nice. I would love to be able to Ray Charles I mean, I'd love to be able to not feel it all the time, but
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. Yeah, and or even being in a situation where you overhear something and it's not necessarily you're offended, but not because it is about a group that you belong to, but just because
you understand. You empathize.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so offended.
Yeah. Like, can you not see why this could be a concern or an issue for that person? Like, it's always easy to relate it to an example you have of something that you identify with. Yeah, it happens.
Can I tell a story? It's not even funny. It happened to me. London, yeah, I love you, but also you're a mess. London, I love you, but you're a mess. So I got on the train. So my office is in New Cross. And I got on the train from London Bridge to New Cross. Like in the middle of the day, I had an appointment in London Bridge. So I came back. I sat on the train. It's 5 minutes from London Bridge to New Cross. It's not a long journey. Got on the train, sat down, and then just ready to do my journey. And all of a sudden, I smelled like a really bad smell. And I realized it was like a woman who had got on the train. She was obviously like homeless and everything, but it was like a really strong smell, and obviously it was disrupting people, so people started to get up and move. And I think no one was rude or anything, but it was like she was probably like sat 5 meters from me, and I was feeling like I was gonna vomit. And so she sat down, and then a black girl, she probably looked about, a black woman, I should say, maybe looked like 22. She was like, there's two sides of the train. She was sat directly opposite. So she stands up, and the woman goes to her, sit down. The woman that the smell was coming from, she said, sit down. And the black girl looked at her like, and I'm looking at the girl, and she was like, sit down, you're not going anywhere. Sit down. That's what she said to her. And everyone was just looking, and she goes, you better sit down now. Basically, like, sit down or else. And the black girl just slowly sat back down. And I said, nah. What? Everybody was just watching this woman bully this black girl. Like, it was just, everyone was just excusing themselves. Everyone else was allowed to move, but not her. So obviously it's only 5 minutes. So I'm seeing this, it's like maybe a minute before I get off. I'm like, I'm not gonna like allow it to happen. So as I'm getting up now because I'm about to get off, and I go like, the door is in the opposite direction of the smell, thankfully. But I go towards the smell, and then I just kind of like slot myself in between them, like in the aisle. And I go to the black girl. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, but I want to move." I said, "Let's go then." I said, "Let's go then."
No, good.
And so like I let her walk in front so that I was behind. Me, to be honest, if that woman touched me, like, not even in a rude way, like, I'm so bad with stuff like that, I would have died. So I didn't have any real defenses.
Just hoping for the best.
I was never gonna grapple. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just hoping for the best.
I was bluffing. I was bluffing. But yeah, we went and we walked, and then I was getting off. I was like, I walked into the next carriage with her, and then I was like, "Do you want to get off the train?" Or she was like, "No, I'm gonna be fine here." Turns out that woman she had been sat elsewhere in the train. The woman had sat next to her the first time. The black girl walked up to another carriage,
followed her.
And she followed her.
Oh no.
So she obviously she felt offended that the girl had moved, I'm assuming. And she thought, okay, cool, you're trying to move away from me, I'm coming with you. She came with her. Then when the black girl tried to move again, she was like, "No, you're not doing that again." I just couldn't believe it. And everyone was just watching like with their eyes wide. And I was like, people ain't trying to support each other here. Like,
Not in London.
Not in London.
London, we mind our own business. Like, have you seen the video of Steph Curry, the basketball player? He's one of the, like, seen anyway, but as one of the best basketball players currently playing. So the basketball team, the US basketball team were over here playing at the O2.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, so Steph Curry decided to get out and about in London. Not a single person, like, batted an eyelid in his direction. He went into the NBA store and someone picked up his jersey, and he said to them, he said, "Oh, you're gonna get this one?" And they were like, "Oh, thinking about it." Like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure. And then, like, finally they clocked on, like, oh my gosh, like, Steph Curry. But he was at Buckingham Palace. Yeah, it was very Bow Wow.
He's obviously very tall.
Yeah. Well, do you know, he's not that tall compared to other basketball players. I believe Steph Curry is like maybe 6'2", 6'3". He's really? Like one of the smaller ones.
Can't be that small. I mean, small in terms of basketball.
He's one of the smaller ones, I believe.
It must be refreshing for him, though.
Yeah, I think that's why Rihanna lived here for so long, to be honest.
No, but Rihanna is recognisable. Come on.
Yeah, but when she was in Dalston, like, she just do her thing.
To be fair, I feel like she was wearing shades and a hat. She can maybe get away with it, but not for long.
Oh, I don't have any reception to check. Wow, I don't know what's going on here.
I can tell you how tall Steph Curry is.
Please. Now I need to know.
I feel like he must be taller than that. I don't think, are there many 6'2" basketball players?
No, but he's known for his, oh my gosh, if you're into basketball, please don't hurt me. He's known for his, I forgot what they're called, 3-point somethings.
6'2".
I told you, he's one of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6'2", yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, moving on.
My brother's 6'2". I'm going to go and tell him, look at your height mates.
Look what they're doing.
Look what they're doing.
So I saw an article. You just reminded me when you were talking about being on the train. So I saw an article about commuters and traveling into work. So basically it said that people who have to travel into the office 5 days a week can expect to lose out on up to 54 days of pay per year to cover their commute. And if you are a hybrid worker, you are slightly better off and working up to 32 days per year to cover the cost of commuting 3 times a week. So
is that people who, so the first one is the people who commute every day?
Yeah, so 54 days for people who commute every day and 32 days for people who commute 3 times a week.
What do you think about that?
I think before COVID, everybody was pretty much going into the office 5 days a week. So we saw how expensive travel was, but there was nothing we could really do about it. I think with COVID, with people seeing how much money they were saving by not commuting, I think it's just, you know, now that people do have to go back to a bit of an older lifestyle, I get it. Like it's annoying, especially if it makes a significant difference to your earnings. Some people, I'll talk for London because that's where I am. If you live in zone 5 or 6 and you work in zone 1, that's a lot of money a month that you were saving when COVID was going on. I think, you know, we have season ticket loans.
Who uses them anymore? Because they only really work for people that are in the office like 5
all
days
the time.
Yeah,
but they have stuff like that, you know. Some people still some workplaces still do stuff to help with that stuff. But I don't know. I get it. But what can you do is how I feel about it.
I mean, sorry. I have a pet peeve about some of this stuff.
Hit me.
Since COVID, they're going to call me a capitalist employer slave. Since COVID, like a lot of people have obviously moved where they were before. Yeah. And they moved out further from wherever they worked because obviously hybrid working, not coming into the office 5 days a week or even, you know, remote working that they may have had at the time. It means that, you know, if they have to swallow that commute 1 day, 2 days, a week, a month, they can do it. My pet peeve is when people act like you force them to do that. Like right now, there's a lot of companies who are asking people to come back to the office. Your contract was never changed. Yeah, most people's contract was never changed. So they still, in theory, are supposed to be in the office 5 days a week.
Yeah.
If you're now being asked to come in 1 or 2 days a week, I just think you have to swallow it. Like, unless you're going to put in a formal flexible working request or something like that. But they're like, oh, it's so expensive. It cost me 60 quid a day to get into London. My G, you did that because it worked better for you. If you could either live in London, pay the extortionate rent and the extortionate mortgages, and you know, swallow this charcoal air, or you can go live somewhere nicer for you, probably cheaper for you. You might have better quality of life. You might have enjoyed it, or you might have moved for financial reasons. But either way, that's your choice. We're all just dealing with all the choices that we have. Some of those choices are good. Some of those choices are bad. But I think then coming to work and making that your employer's issue or making it seem like it's unfair, I think doesn't make any sense. I don't think that makes any sense to come in and say, oh, it's too expensive for me to come in. Why do I have to come in? Yes, sometimes there's unnecessary meetings. But if you took the job on the basis, and I'm talking for those people, that you were going to come in, your circumstances have changed. That's unfortunate. But nobody beat you and asked you to move. nobody begged
Lola
you
said,
to leave.
suck it up.
No, I'm not even joking. Like, that is genuinely how I feel about it. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's expensive for everybody. That's the first thing. Living in London is also expensive. And they try to say, like, oh, us people that don't live in London, we have it so bad. I'm like, the people that live in London also have it bad. The people that live in Manchester, they're a bit better off. But even traveling to Manchester from London, everything is just expensive. So I really don't like that. And I just see it more and more and more people complaining about their commute and the price of their commute. Not but standalone, that's fine. But as in reference to your employer making you come in, I just think that's what it is.
Nah, I hear it, to be fair. I hear it. I hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. When I've graduated, I worked in Ashford and I lived in Southwark and Ashford, Kent. And I commuted 5 days a week, 2 hours on a train or 90 minutes if I drove. I made it like 3 months. Then I broke down in tears and I never went back. I couldn't do it. Like I just those long commutes, I get that they're not nice. And I think that's just, if it was once a week or twice a week, I probably could have managed it. But I get that they're not nice commutes, but then you just have to
permit.
Yeah, you can also get a job closer to where you work, but it won't pay as much money.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is on a
closer to where you live.
Yeah, this is not the same because I wasn't in full-time work. I was at uni at Kent and I got a job for Arcadia. So I would go around to like Topshop, Dorothy Perkins, etc. And I would like replace jewelry and stuff like that.
Oh, no, visual merchandising.
Yeah, I was doing visual, creative.
That was like a step up above us shop floor wankers.
Yeah, it was quite nice actually. I just did my own thing. But I realised that because my job was in Canterbury and I was studying in Canterbury, I never came down to London. So I decided to get a job, which is how I ended up at John Lewis.
In London?
In London. So I was commuting from Canterbury to London every Friday. and then I would go back up on Sunday after work.
How much money did you make to be? Because the train ticket was like £20.
Yeah, it was. I was making like 700 to 900 a month,
okay,
depending
that's fine.
I mean, where did it all go? I don't know. But like, I made the decision to, you know, do that. It was expensive, and I loved the high speed from Canterbury.
Oh, you were doing the high speed.
I tried, yeah, because like the coach wasn't
that
for
was
me.
like £40 or something.
Yeah, it was a lot. I had a roll card though.
I used to do. Sometimes I'd get on the $3.99 coach.
Yeah,
when times were hard.
But, so yeah, but sometimes I'll call in sick if times were really that hard. I wouldn't make it to London. Like,
and like, do you know what? Yeah, there's so many things that I've been on TikTok recently when I've been like, Velisa's a proper Gen Z. Like in her heart, the one that was talking about Gen Z weddings. I do feel like that's more like just everybody's wedding now. And then when you said that, it reminded me of like something that happened maybe like last year, where there was somebody who said they couldn't come to work because it was a Gen Z person couldn't come to work. They didn't have enough money for the train.
oh yes, I remember that.
And yeah, that's you. Even back then, when you were of that age, maybe it's not Gen Z versus millennial. Maybe it's just
the age.
Yeah.
I was like, nah. Do you know what? I have 0 to my name right now.
But what did you? I think the difference is, you would just call them sick. I think now,
they would be so honest and tell you,
I'm so broke.
Yeah,
you pay me, so it's kind of your fault.
Yeah. Have you seen that manager on TikTok where she manages a lot of Gen Z, and she does edits where they call her about excuses with why they need to work from home or they're not coming in that day. Real ones.
And she hasn't been fired.
She doesn't show it's a phone call that she's recording. It's America, by the way. I need to clarify.
I'm even surprised that she hasn't been fired before. Maybe because she's the manager. I don't know. Are you joking?
But they will call in and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, like my cat is really sick and I just feel like they need cuddles today, so I can't come in. Like, I'm just gonna work from home. And she's like, okay, hope your cat gets better.
There was a guy I used to work with and he was late all the time. Like he was a junior. Like when I think I was a manager at the time. I didn't manage him, but he kept coming in late and someone picked him up and he said, oh, it's just like in the morning my girlfriend just really likes cuddles. So I'm trying to get ready for work and she just wants to cuddle. So I end up being late. Nah, man. Get it together. Get it together. Imagine that's the reason. But I do work with like someone on like a board level person who couldn't make it to a meeting recently, and when he was like, oh sorry, I can't make it, so he joined online. He was like, oh, this is the day that we don't have a dog sitter, so I'm here, and he's on the board, and I just love that. Listen, I feel like since COVID people have just got more like audacious in general, so you know, if I said that now I think it would be different, I can't lie to you, but with him, what are you gonna say? Like, whatever. I know that we're running out of time, but I just wanted to mention one more thing because we said we would start answering HR questions on TikTok. So if you're going to watch this on YouTube, follow us on TikTok for more information. There we go. But there has been one of the highest equal pay claims yes, you told me, given to a woman in Northern Ireland in Belfast. She was awarded 305k. So basically, this lady worked as some sort of engineer for a company since 2003, and she was one of 4 on a team. So she was the only woman. There were 3 men, and she told her employer, look, these 3 men are being paid more than me, but we're doing the same job, we're performing the same way. And in 2019, so after being there 16 years, she took them to court and she won. Good. She won, and she won 305k. Good. I love that. Good equal pay claim. Love that. And she had comparators. Yeah. Because I think that's really important. Because, you know, sometimes you might think you're being underpaid, and you might be being underpaid because you're a woman, but unless you have like a comparator, someone who does the exact same job as you, is really hard. So she had like 3 people that did the same job as her, and she was paid the least. Yeah. And no one, years, so no one looked exactly. So, and no one looked at that and thought, "Oh, so and so is in 16 years." Do you know where she worked? What kind of company? I mean, I wonder if it was big or small or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure. But if there's 4 people doing the same job as you, like it's hardly like a startup. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Mad. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that. So, you know, if you feel like you're being underpaid based on, you know, your experience, performance,
in comparison to others, you know, just...
And you can ask as well, you know.
Just, bring it up. Bring it
That's why they're not allowed to do pay secrecy clauses as well. Because before they'd be like, you're not allowed to talk about your salary. And they actually still do that in some places. Like in India, for sure. Like when I've worked with clients where they have offices there, no one talks about pay or anything like that. Like you're strictly not allowed. But in the UK, you're not allowed to tell people not to talk about their pay because it could be covering up the equal pay issue.
Yeah.
So if people want to talk about their pay, they can.
But lucky for the UK, people don't like doing it anyway.
Yeah,
so
we're so squeamish about money.
There's a lot of stuff going on because people don't like to talk about their pay. That's why I think it's really good that the US have brought in this salary transparency with roles when they put them out so that people can see. I mean, some of the bandits I've seen are a bit wild, but you know, you get a general idea as to what your role in that company is, so you can gauge it a bit better, which is good. That's it, really.
There's actually a lot that I want to talk about, but it can be for another episode.
Next app.
Dilemmas. We're actually going to be doing dilemmas soon. We keep saying it, but we actually have a lot. We have email ones, got ones on Instagram now, we've got TikTok ones coming in. Guys, we've been going live and we're just loving it.
Yeah, we've been going live on TikTok. We're on live right now.
We are
on TikTok. Hi TikTok. We are going to answer your questions now. We're just going to wrap up the episode. Hey, Atiola. We're gonna wrap up the episode and start answering questions on TikTok. So yeah,
meet us over there. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Join us on live or not live. Just join us.
Yeah, that's a wrap, guys.
Bye.
Bye.